Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and freaking love. Y'all already know it's the Queen Sim coming up here to holler at y'all about what's real, okay? We ain't come to here and holler at y'all for nothing, all right? I'm going to try not to hold y'all too long because y'all already know. Oh, man, it's a dead gun mosquito up in here. Shucks. You better not get on me because you're going down. Y'all know I don't like violence. But right now, that mosquito can get it. Anyway, let me go on and get to it. Y'all, pray for me because, this video right here is, Anyway, let me get to it. How many of y'all went through, as a kid, you probably got whoopings, right? Everybody black, I know for a fact, that about got whipping. Just about everybody. Hey, beautiful. And so, majority of blacks, we got whoopings, what we call whoopings, right? Growing up, and I figure since this is, people's Black History Month, I figured this is the best time to tell this, to do this video. Well, spirit, because I didn't have no intentions. But anyway, so how many of you grew up getting whoopings, right? And, like myself, I grew up getting whoopings, I didn't get a lot of whoopings because I wasn't bad like that. At least I don't think. Anyway, but I did get certain whoopings. And, I can remember from certain people I would get, well, I whooped you because I love you. I had to do it, And, they would whoop you and then turn around and ask you, are you mad? Of course, when, you get a whooping, it's a natural. There go that dead gum mosquito. He finna go down. Hold on, y'all. You about to go down. All right. I think he just went down. But anyway. See what I'm saying? The devil don't want me to tell this. I already been procrastinating on doing it because I didn't want to do this video. But anyway. But you grew up getting whoopings. I grew up getting whoopings, and I can remember being a kid, after I just got a whooping, they would walk by the person who just whooped me and say, you mad? Well, scratch your A and get glad, or, whatever, suck it up, and they would tell you to stop crying and, suck it up and and so you having to pack down your emotions and your feelings as a child. How many of y'all have experienced that? Because I know I have. And I know for a fact now that I'm an adult, I can speak about it because I'm an adult now, back then I was a kid, so I was afraid that if I spoke about it, I was going to get another whooping and then I got to suck it up and, not feel, right? So, basically what I'm saying is, Lord help me, give me the strength. That psychologically can take a toll on a child. You feel what I'm saying? Which is why I talk a lot about healing from the past, right? Releasing the past to experience more love, right, into your day-to-day life. Because we think, well, since we're an adult, we grown, that we let go of everything that hurt us or, everything that we went through as a child. We think, okay, well, I got over that. I'm good. I'm straight. I'm grown now. But you have to go back and do that healing work, that shadow work, because if you don't, it can still haunt you into your day-to-day life, which is why I'm doing this video, because it dawned on me today talking to one of my godmamas, and it dawned on me how your childhood can affect your adulthood, right? So, okay, boom, and as an example, well, let me just speak from my experience. I'm not even going to say an example. I'm just going to say my story. Let me speak from my experience. And I don't usually tell everybody my business, but here I am. Here I go. But at the end of the day, being a child and getting whooped as a child, and especially when times when you could have just got talked to, because not every punishment deserved a spanking, a whooping, or a beating, or whatever. And, at the end of the day, as a child experiencing that, and then to turn around and get the remark of, well, suck it up, or stop crying, and you are forced to not feel, right? So what that does psychologically, it trains you to think that it is okay to accept abuse. It don't matter what form it come in. Abuse is abuse, right? I just heard a horn. So it trains you, it trained me. I know it did. It trained me to think, okay, it is okay to accept beatings or abuse or, neglect or abandonment. And I have to suck it up, right? I have to just, and I have to believe that the person who did it or the people who did it loved me, because that's how I was brought up. Psychologically, that's what was going on in my mind. So now that I'm older, when I got older in my earlier 20s, I can remember getting with guys that were abusive in different forms. Now, don't get it twisted. I ain't never dealt with no dude putting his hands on me because, well, we just don't play them type of games. But anyway, I did accept abuse. There go that mosquito again. I did allow abuse in so many other forms. I allowed it in verbal. You feel me? The spiritual, mental, emotional. Abuse is abuse, right? So I allowed it in other areas in my life. Now, I wasn't finna let no man put his hands on me. Now, I wasn't gonna settle for that. But at the same time, I settled for other things that I shouldn't have because of what I settled for as a child, instead of just speaking up and saying, yes, I'm upset. Yes, I'm hurt because I don't feel like I deserved to get a spanking because blah, blah, blah. Majority of us black kids, our voices were stripped from us as a kid, because that's what our parents were taught, is that the kid, basically the kid got to do what the adults say all the time. Even if the adult is wrong, we still have to respect and honor thy mother and thy father. But, that was the scripture that was always thrown up, is that you have to honor thy mother and thy father or any elder that's in your life, because if you don't, your days will be shortened. But they never finished the scripture to let you know, hey, I can't serve to unbalance you. You feel what I'm saying? The rest of the scripture is saying that the mother, the father, and whoever else should not provoke the child. And not that I'm saying that a child should go out and disrespect the parents or anything of that nature, which we are dealing with a lot of in this day and age. But this is why, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is it's a two-way street. So you got to give respect to get respect, right? Just because you're an adult does not mean you're always right. Does not mean that the child should not have a voice or be able to speak up and tell you, well, hey, mama, this what happened. Hey, daddy, this what happened. Hey, aunt, uncle, whoever the guardian is, this is what happened. Allow the child the space to speak their truth before we just go straight to picking up a rod or a extension cord or a fist, or even using words that will hurt a child, because 9 times out of 10, it was given to you. And a lot of this stuff was passed down to our foremothers and forefathers and so on and so on. So we can't get mad and say, well, hey, my mama was wrong for doing this, because guess what? Her mama might have done it and her mama might have done it and so on and so on and so on. So this is why this day and age, the millennials, are here to break the cycle and the chain. You feel me? I wanted to release that, to me, slave plantation mentality of a beating is always the first go-to, right? Because that's what I was, I'm thinking in my mind whenever I was raising my baby. Whenever she did anything, the first thing I'm thinking, I'm finna whoop her. I'm finna spank her. But then the more spiritual I became, the more I evolved, the more I realized that was not our nature. It was given to us. It was passed down to us. And where did we get that from? Majority of us got it from the plantation, the slave master's plantation. And he would beat us and tell our people, our great grandmothers and great grandfathers, hey, I did it because I love you. So suck it up. Right? So guess what? That passed down to our parents and their parents and so on. The same mentality. So now you got a lot of kids out here. So now, because you got a lot of spiritual folk like myself, we now what the Christian people would say, we're sparing the rod. We're not really whooping our kids nowadays, right? Because you don't really have to whoop your children physically. You don't even have to whoop them with your words. You can actually talk to a child and they'll comprehend. You know what I mean? You have to go back to your childlike space and remember where you was at their age. And, compromise, don't be one of those parents of what I say is always right, my way or the highway, because your way might not be the right way all the time, right? And it's okay as a parent to acknowledge that your way might not be right sometime. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm glad that I had changed that mentality with my daughter, because it wasn't doing that but making her more angry. Like my aunt said, beating on a child, whether it's verbal, physical, it don't matter. It still makes a child angry. right? And that's not what we want to do. And I don't know about y'all, but me, I want my seeds to be near me, to come, you feel me, to come to me, to talk to me, to trust in me, to believe in me. I don't want to push them away from me, right? So this is why I'm having this video, because many of us have carried, woundings from the past, because we had to pack down our voice, our feelings, and our emotions. And so what we did was we got older and we started attracting lovers with that same energy, just like your mamas, just like your daddies, or whoever, right? And you start doing that same abuse thing over and over, but you grown now. And you might say, well, a lot of people look at a lot of women and they say, well, she a hoe. Well, before you go and judge her, ask what her story is, because you just never know what kind of abuse she dealt with growing up, which is why she might have watched somebody be whorish or whatever, and she grew up feeling like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be. She might have grew up watching her mother get abused by a man. So guess what she get up and do? She get older and she go attract men that's abusive, right? Because that's what she grew up and that's what she deems to be love, right? Everybody has a different definition of what they deem to be love. So, some people grow up in abusive homes and people that abuse you with their mouth, call you all everything but the child of God. And you grow up thinking that everybody got to talk to you like that. And if they don't love you. If you grow up in an abusive area, you will become immune to it. So you will think that that's life. So then when you get out into the real world, then you got people that's talking to you nice and you traumatized. You running from them because why? They're not dogging you out like you grew up under. You feel what I'm saying? And that is not healthy. That's what I'm saying. That's a psychological problem. It's to think that abuse is healthy, to think that it is okay to be abandoned, to think that it is okay to get your head knocked off and got to be quiet about it, and not speak up about it, or to think that it's okay to let people walk all over you and throw you on the back burner like you don't have no feelings or no emotions or no heart or none of that. That is not okay. Many of us need more psychology than we think. We need more help to the psyche than we think, right? And a lot of us are passing this stuff down to our seeds unknowingly because we don't realize that we have a problem. Many of us were raised up with narcissists, right? And so a lot of us have embodied a lot of narcissistic traits. And guess what we doing? Passing it right on down to our little old bitty seeds. And guess what they're going to do? Grow up and they're going to pass those out to other people too and their kids. So break the chain, break the cycle. Abuse is not okay. If it happened to you as a child, I am sorry that even had to happen to you. Now, I'm not saying that you didn't deserve some of them spankings, because a lot of times we did, but at the end of the day, I apologize that anybody had to deal with any abuse, because now you are carrying that into your adulthood unknowingly. And so I'm here to let you know now it's time to release and heal the past, so that you can experience more love into your future. Because if you don't face what you have dealt with as a child, it's going to follow you wherever you go the older you get. It don't matter how many bottles you drink, how many lines you snort, how many men and women you sleep with. It don't matter how many clubs you club in. It don't matter how much food you eat. It don't matter how bitter you are. At the end of the day, it's still going to follow you. A lot of us are bitter because of this type of stuff. A lot of us grew up with church hurt. You feel what I'm saying? I almost forgot that part. That church hurt got a lot of us really, really small right now. A lot of y'all being abused in churches. And now you are older and you still holding on to that kid-like mentality, like, well, I don't want to do nothing wrong. I don't want to disrespect nobody. I don't want to step out of line. Because you're still holding on to that little bitty kid that you were. You're not that little kid anymore. You can actually stand up and speak up about what's wrong, right? And you can ask God to help you to lovingly speak your truth. You ain't got to be nasty about nothing, right? But see, we were trained, our people, our foremothers and fathers and everybody before us were trained and conditioned to hush. Hush up, child. Hush up. Hush up, child. Hush up. And guess what they passed down to us? Hush up. Hush up. But now it's time for us to speak up. But you ain't got to be ugly about what you do. But you got to speak up about it. And I did not want to do this video. God, no, I didn't. Because I don't want nobody to take this and take it the wrong way. But you know what? We already know my number one line. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. People still going to damn you anyway. But I had to speak this because I know it's a lot of people, especially in my age bracket, that is still holding on to that, well, you know, you have to honor thy mother and thy father, or else you shorten your days. But then your mama and daddy could disrespect you, and you supposed to take it? You supposed to let them, you know, just do it? No. The scripture says, I need to find that scripture, Lord, because I don't know how to quote it exactly. But y'all need to look it up. It's in Ephesians somewhere in the Bible. But at the end of the day, what it is, God, bring it to me. A parent should not provoke their children. So, yes, a child should honor thy mother and thy father, or elders, or whatever you want to deem as your guardian. But they should not provoke that child as well, right? Because that child has feelings and emotions and all of that type of stuff, a beating heart just like you, right? They bleed just like you. They have feelings just like you. And their voices should not be stripped. That dang on mosquito. Got it. Finally. I feel like my grandmama right then. She's the only person who's killed a mosquito with a napkin. Anyway, a parent should not provoke their child. So at the end of the day, this is why you got a lot of kids out here now that's not listening to their parents, not abide by their rules, or none of that, because they are not taking nobody's shit. And honestly, I can't blame a lot of them if you coming up and you provoking them. Because if you provoke, what you gonna do? So look at it like that. Yeah, they're children. And yeah, they do need discipline. But there are better ways of discipline than to be calling them out of their name. Hoes and scalawags and wenches and bees and all of those nasty names. Tell them they ain't gonna be nothing. You know, calling them fags or whatever. Do not call your children out of their names, because abuse is abuse. Slapping them, beating them, all of that is abuse. Before you think about hitting the child, I'd rather go and hit a wall or something. Put a hole in the wall before you go put a hole in the child. Let God put a hole in them. But you speak that truth to that child. It's lessons you can teach them. Y'all better go back and watch The Cosby Show. I know. Everybody got their opinions about The Cosby, but at the end of the day, we got to give it to them folks. They gave some really good life lessons when it comes to raising your children. So y'all better go back to watching them Cosby shows, the Parenthoods, and the Moeshas, and all of them type of shows, because they showed you how to talk to your children and compromise with them, and it works out better for the entirety, not just for yourself. Because just because you're an adult does not mean you're always right. And I know that for it to be true, because I've been that person that thought I was always right. And even my child had to let me know, Mama, you're wrong. And guess what I had to do? Surrender and let her tell me. But I couldn't do that, you know, back in the day to adults in my life, because, baby, you got your lip slapped to the back of your head because it was deemed disrespectful to speak your truth. And so, you know, I'm not here to hush my child, you know, because what it does is it take you into your adulthood hushed. You know, so a lot of folks used to tell me, well, if it's something you want, you need to open your mouth. But I didn't know how to open my mouth, because I was trained to hush. I was conditioned to hush. So, you know, like they say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So a lot of times I didn't get fed because I was conditioned to hush. So now that's why a lot of folks who want me to shut up now can't get me to shut up, because I was hushed. So, yeah, that part. So a lot of y'all need to ask God to help you to heal and to lovingly speak your truth, whether you do it on paper, whether you do it in, you know, face to face with a person or whatever. But you got to face reality about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know what, God, why do I choose these people that I'm with? Because 9 times out of 10, it probably was just like your mama, your daddy, your grandmama, and whoever your guardians was. You feel me? Because that's what you grew up seeing. Just like they say, a woman always look for a man that reminds her of her dad, right? You know, but the only way she can pattern, you know, a man after her dad is if her dad was in the home. You know, ain't nothing more dangerous than to be trying to find a man, 10 times out of 10 that reminds you of your dad. You feel me? Because that's what you grew up seeing. Just like they say, a woman always look for a man that reminds her of her dad, right? You know, but the only way she can pattern, you know, a man after her dad is if her dad was in the home. You know, ain't nothing more dangerous than to be trying to find a man to pattern after somebody that wasn't there. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, but then you got some women who try to pattern their men after the man that was there. And when he was there, he probably wasn't no good there. He probably was beating on the mama, pimping her, whatever, and so now you got her out here in the streets, promiscuous, selling her body, don't know her worth. Why? Because that's what she grew up watching. So we got to stop judging a book or a chapter on which we came in on, because we never know what a person's background was, right? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's time to face the truth. Face the truth, like face the music. It's time. And it ain't gonna be easy for everybody, but it is what it is. The truth shall set us all free. And abuse is not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. I grew up watching some of my friends getting dogged by their mothers. Calling them wenches and hoes. And guess what she grew up to be? Wenches and hoes. Because that's what she was conditioned to be. If she grew up watching you get beat on, and now you wondering why she over here in an abusive relationship, mama, daddy, don't get mad, because she watched y'all beat each other. Right? If he grew up watching you be an alcoholic or a womanizer, then guess what he's going to grow up and be? An alcoholic and a womanizer. We only can be what we are conditioned, right? So this is why we keep bringing up the shadow work healing. It's time to go back to the shadows and release that old plantation mindset of thinking that beating on a child or abusing a child or breaking them down in any form is healthy. Because it is not. Because at the end of the day, these are the same kids that's going to grow up, and you going to grow smaller, and they going to have to take care of you. So I advise you to break the chains now and do the healing now so that you can create a healthy legacy, right? That's what we're here for, because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want the old way to keep going, right? I don't want to keep carrying down, negativity in my bloodline, in my lineage, right? If we're going to talk about Black history, let's talk about it, all right? Let's stop bringing that old plantation mindset to this new day and age, because we're not there anymore. A lot of us have been still slaved in our mind. Well, that was wrong with her. She need her ass whooped. Now, some people do be needing an ass whooping. I ain't gonna lie. Some folk do be needing a little ass whooping now. I ain't gonna lie. But not every crime deserves the same punishment, is what I'm saying. Okay? That's just like you. You go out there and get a ticket. You're not going to get the same crime as somebody who was, committed a murder. You're not. You feel me? And that's what us Black people have to learn to decipher the difference. Is learn to know how far to go with the discipline. Because sometimes we take it overboard, and then we wonder why our kids getting older and they are defensive and they killing, stealing, and destroying. Because we've created these monsters, all because we tried to hush them or we tried to beat them. You can't treat these new millennial children the same way you got treated. They ain't having it. Now, I'm not saying you need to be scared of them, no, because ain't no way I'm finna be scared of nothing I brought into this planet. But what I'm saying is discipline your children according to whatever that situation is. You feel me? You ain't got to go extreme all the time. Put down the Hot Wheel tracks and the extension cords and the bad mouthing. Put all that down. The scare tactics. I'm going to put you in jail. Because, see, a lot of Black women love to holler, I'm going to throw a little young boy in jail. As soon as he do one thing, y'all done throwed him in jail and gave him to prison. And then you holler about, well, all our men is lost to prison. Yeah, because you gave him to him. Stop giving your young Black children to prison before they can even get up and be old enough to go to county jail. You feel what I'm saying? Jail is not going to save your child. You are. You are who you are waiting on. Your child needs you. They need you to sit down and tell them about your experiences. Tell them why you're overprotective. Tell them why you firm on them. Tell them why you want nothing but the best for them. Tell them that they're phenomenal. They're amazing. They're dope. Let them know that you don't expect them to be perfect all the time, right? Because nobody is perfect. So stop pretending that you are. When they go through their teenage stage, remember when you was in yours. And tell them about it. You know what? I can remember when I first had my first crush. I can remember when I first got da-da-da-da. I can remember when you feel me? Come from your experiences and talk to your children. That's how you discipline them. Now, that's where punishments come in and put their butts on some punishments. Take away them technologies. Take away them social medias. Take away what they love. They love sports. Okay, well, if you don't want your grades ain't good, you will not be playing on the field. You won't be on that court. Oh, your grades ain't good, you ain't going to be playing that game. Give it here. I'll sell it. Yeah, it's ways to discipline children without being abusive. You feel what I'm saying? Make them get them a journal. Make them go in there and write it out. I don't care what you got to do. Make them write an essay. But it's ways to discipline your children. Ask mine. She'll tell you. I don't care if you got to put that button time out and be on them. You feel me? But it's ways to discipline your children. But you have to say what you mean and mean what you say. You feel what I'm saying? And stand firm on what you mean. And your kids will abide and respect that. They will respect that honor within you as long as you respect them and honor them. They will. I know, because I got a lot of kids that respect me and honor me. And they already know. Don't get it twisted now. 7 will put the rod down on them. And I mean my mouth if I need to. Hey, stop it. You're wrong. You know better. You know, I watch what I say to these babies. Because they can carry that into their adulthood and mess around and manifest some nasty. So be mindful of what you are feeding your youth. Please. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. Be mindful of what you are feeding your youth. Because these are the same people that's going to grow up and be having to take care of you. Okay? Whew. So let's release and heal the past so that we may experience more love into the future, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I want more love. Okay? And we all deserve that. So we ain't got to be, I'm not telling nobody to go and be mad at their mamas, their daddies, and their grandmamas and whoever else that raised them. No, that is not at all what I'm saying. What I'm simply saying is that something that was passed down and so on and so on and so on. And it might have worked back then, but it is no longer valid now. So that means that we got to do something different to get a different result. And that's what I'm saying. So we still loving mama, daddy, grandmama, them, and whoever else, right? Because they were only working with the tools that they had. So I ain't telling you to go and point the finger at nobody. You feel me? It's more another mosquito up in here. I ain't telling you to go point the finger at nobody because that's not what I'm here to do. But it's okay to speak your truth. You know, because some of us have grown up and still letting these same people abuse us and manipulate us now. It is time for you to speak up, but lovingly speak it. Hey, yeah, you might have got away with that as back in the day, but that ain't valid nowadays. It's expired. You can't do that no more. What? No, you can't talk to me like that no more. No, you can't hit me like that no more. No, you can't disrespect me like that no more. No, you can't cheat on me like that no more. No, I'm not taking no more of your shit. I'm done. I love you, but I love you over there. No, I can't be around you anymore because you're negative. You're toxic. You ain't got to be nasty, but you can tell folks the truth though. And guess what? The truth, they ain't got to, it will always set you free. And like I tell y'all, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. So at the end of the day, speak up, but free yourself. If you were a victim of abuse, free yourself and free others around you by speaking your truth. And don't be afraid like I was today because I was scared to get on here and speak mine. But I know mine is going to help other people crack open. And that's the point. So we all can grow. So don't be stingy. Share this live because like I tell y'all, it wasn't just for you. This for everybody, okay? And 7 already said the hard parts for you, all right? So I love y'all. Y'all stay beautiful. Peace and love.